Welcome back. The atmosphere starting to build nicely here at the Diva Stadium as we count down to our local derby here at the Diva Stadium. Jim Harvey and Steve Burr still alongside me. And Jim, what can you expect from tonight's game? We're already starting to hear the atmosphere building. Friday night under the lights against these two big teams.
Well, a couple of things from Tranmere's point of view. You know, they have to go and grind out a result. You've got to keep the momentum going. The thing that I'd be concerned about as a Tranmere supporter would be that Chester have had a little hiccup. You know, they've had 4 or 5 bad results, and maybe they need a boost in confidence. So to come out tonight in front of the TV cameras, a huge crowd, might inspire them to produce something that perhaps they haven't been producing in the last, you know, half dozen matches. But I still think that Tranmere will be too powerful for Chester.
Steve, a big night for Sam Hughes tonight. Captain's armband at 19 years old. You ranked him highly.
Yeah, no, great night for Sam. He's done very well, and one for the future without a shadow of a doubt. I remember giving him his debut here. I'm just delighted to see him captain the side tonight, and I know how much his mum and dad will be very proud of him tonight.
We're certainly looking forward to this game. They're almost ready, so let's get to our commentators. Adam Virgo and Adam Summerton.
Thank you, Natalie. Good evening, everyone. Just 17 miles between the Diva Stadium here in Cheshire and Prenton Park. A local derby to kick off another intriguing National League weekend. Tranmere in the thick of a title race in which 4 teams are currently separated by just 5 points, comfortably mid-table. I guess you could argue the pressure's off Chester, and they certainly don't see it that way. Injuries have deprived Chester of both captain Luke George and vice-captain Tom Shaw, so John McCarthy has decided to make 19-year-old Sam Hughes skipper for the first time today, and has recalled Elliot Durrell and Blaine Hudson. Both Ryan Astles and Wade Joyce spent time with Tranmere as youngsters, while last weekend's match winner Evan Horwood was on the first-team books at Prenton Park for half a season up until January of 2014. One change to the Tranmere side that started their 5-1 win over Barrow in the FA Trophy. Jake Kirby suffered a broken leg in that game and is replaced by Adam Meckie, who makes only his 2nd league start of the season. No place in the starting lineup for 17-goal top scorer Andy Cook. Jeff Hughes makes his 400th career league appearance in English football, while Michael Ihekwe reaches a century of league appearances for Tranmere.
Well, Mickey Mellon still keeps with his 3-5-2 that brought him a good result against Barrow in the FA Trophy. And Maynard in the middle, for me, he's going to be vitally important. For Halifax, he was that man that made the run in between the likes of Gregory, making that run into that final third. He's going to be vitally important. And the wing-backs for me for Tranmere are going to be so crucial. Going forward, Vaughan and Ridehouse are so important to the way they try and get crosses into the box for Mangan and Stockton. For Chester, so the pressure will certainly be on Tranmere Rovers. Alabi, you know he's going to be big, he's going to be physical. And just look out for Durrell. He'll be coming in off the line, and it's the likes of Joyce who will probably just give Hughes that little bit of support when they haven't got the ball.
Chester turned down an offer from Championship side Barnsley for Sam Hughes in January, still only 19. He was actually born on the Wirral. Says it means a lot to play against his local team today. It's even more special now that he's been named captain for the first time. Steve McNulty's experience could prove key for Tranmere in the final months of the season. A promotion winner 4 times with 3 different clubs. He's won this league twice with Fleetwood and Luton. The referee is Anthony Coggins, 17 National League matches this season, 57 yellow cards he's handed out and 6 reds. 3 of those dismissals have come in his last 6 matches. 17 points between Chester and Tranmere, 11th and 4th respectively. The home side arguably exceeding expectations. Chester far from the relegation scrap many thought they would be in this season. Only promotion will do for Tranmere, and their pre-season objective remains very much achievable. The league table and the form guide both suggest Tranmere big favourites here, but this is a league that keeps on surprising us, throwing the fact this is a derby and anything's possible, Adam Virgo.
Oh, it's a really great atmosphere in here tonight, Adam, and certainly the weather is going to play a pivotal part in the way that these two sides play. This is not really weather to get the ball down and play, get crosses into the box and test the goalkeeper. Early opportunity from the free kick here for Tranmere. It rolls for Meckie, making only his 2nd start of the season today. All played in by Ridehouse. Is such a feature of Tranmere's play, the fact that Ridehouse and Vaughan look to get forward down the flanks, but this is Richards for Chester. All for
Richards again here, signed from Ilkeston in 2014. Loose ball though, as Vaughan is able to send it forward for Tranmere. Well, we've had plenty of rain in the lead up to kick-off. In fact, it's not really stopped all day, but just as the play is kicked off, it's got even harder here, and it's going to be a difficult surface for the players to contend with, you would think. Very slick.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the type of game that you've got to play in the right areas, and you're talking about experience, right talking around you, not taking touches in the wrong areas. The pitch is very boggy, so it's certainly got to hold up a little bit in certain areas where it's very, very cut up. But second balls tonight, Adam, are going to be absolutely vital. You're going to play a little bit more direct, so it's so important that you pick up those second balls in key areas.
The referee wanting a word with Joyce for that challenge, which was pretty firm, wasn't it, on Hughes? Just a warning for Joyce. He's the son of the former Manchester United reserve team coach Warren Joyce, now in charge at Wigan. But a lot of praise for his performance in the win at Southport last weekend. Joyce, he was gritty in his play, and you could say that for much of the team as well. They ground out that result. It was much needed as well. Here's Richards, who's got Alabi beyond him. Seemed to be caught by McNulty. Everybody stopped, and there's a challenge right on the edge of the area there. Well, both sets of players froze for a moment, and the referee has pointed to the spot. Well, that's a really big call for Anthony Coggins. All sorts of sorting out to do here.
Well, you've got to play to the whistle. That's what I must say. My initial reaction that it wasn't a foul on McNulty against Kane Richards. I don't think that's a foul. You see Maynard pulling up. What an absolute disastrous start for Tranmere. No one really knows what's going on, but you have to play to the whistle, Adam. Tranmere thought they'd been given a free kick against them. I think that's why they all stopped.
Well, Maynard's got an injury here as well. The problems are mounting up for Tranmere. Here's another look at it.
Well, it's so close. Is it inside the box? For me, that's not a foul there on Richards. For some reason, everybody stops, and that is not a penalty. Sutton on the outside of the box. It's a good 3-4 yards outside. Nowhere near a penalty, Adam. What a start to this derby game.
There certainly have been controversial moments in several of Anthony Coggins' recent games. I just mentioned that he's shown 6 red cards this season, 57 yellow cards. 3 of the dismissals have come in the last 6 matches. May well have all been merited, but he had a really big call to make there in what's such a huge game, particularly, we should say, for Tranmere, who are chasing promotion, chasing the title. And you can only imagine what they're making of all of this down on the Tranmere bench. Mickey Mellon, you would think, will have plenty to say about that decision if Alabi hits the back of the net here.
Well, the only likes of Maynard and McNulty will know why they just stopped. Did they hear something that maybe in the crowd was a whistle? I'm not sure, but it certainly wasn't a penalty, Adam. But what a massive chance now for Chester.
Scott Davis in goal here for Tranmere. It is James Alabi, former Stoke youngster, Chester's top scorer this season. He has 13 goals so far. Make that 14 now. James Alabi from the spot. How cool was that? So confident, he hammered it home. And on Derby Day, it is first blood to Chester.
Well, if you strike penalties like this, goalkeepers don't save them. A great amount of pressure on James Alabi. A lot of time between giving the penalty and him taking it. It's a great penalty. Keeper goes the right way, but it's such a quality penalty to the top of the net. Keeper was never going to save that, and the pressure he was on taking that, brilliant from him. As we look again, only the Tranmere players would know what's going on. It's a foul on Norwood, possibly, but it's never a penalty. Question, could he have been the last man? Massive, massive decision there.
Well, Chester turned down an offer from Barnet for James Alabi back in January. There has been plenty of interest in him. When he punches his way, goodness me, he's a handful. Would you believe at the age of 22, Chester are his 10th club? He's really been about, but has found a home at the Diva Stadium and has given John McCarthy's side an early lead, but what a controversial moment.
Well, it's a massive, massive moment. Looks like it's even worse for Mickey Mellon, and with Maynard going down, looks like he's struggling big time.
Well, Maynard, it would appear, is going to struggle to carry on here. That's the second time now that he's been down, the St Kitts and Nevis International. There's a nightmare start for Mickey Mellon. You do all your preparation, and then it goes so badly wrong inside the first few minutes.
Well, listen, he's always going to be questioned tonight with his team selection. From that brilliant result against Barrow, dropping the likes of Andy Cook and James Norwood. That's got nothing to do with it. That's just players switching off. Players not playing to the whistle.
So it's Harris who's come on here to replace Maynard in the midfield. Former Wrexham player. In fact, he used to play for Chester as well, was relegated from League Two with Chester back in 2009. Started his career with Everton. Tough tackling midfielder, and will get through some work. Certainly with the energy levels we've seen from Chester in the early stages here. This is Durrell. Alabi and Richards waiting in the middle. Really good tempo to the game. Chester very much in the ascendancy, and get a free kick here as well.
Well, it's important now that Tranmere get themselves together, don't lose concentration, don't lose your shape. These derby games, you can't beat them as a player. So important that you don't get carried away with the atmosphere and what it means to the travelling fans as a player. You've got to keep your concentration. Tests are always asked of you during the season. This is a big 10 minutes for Tranmere.
Durrell and Horwood, the players, stood over this. Changes his mind here, the former Tranmere player, Horwood. Set forward by Mangan. That's a great move. Set forward by Johnny Hunt. This is McNulty. Tranmere, of course, with the opportunity here for the time being, at least, if they can turn this around, to close the gap at the top of the table on Lincoln to just 2 points. That's how big tonight is for Mickey Mellon's side. Would go from 4th to 2nd. Chester, no home win, would take them level on points with cross-border rivals Wrexham. Brilliantly unpredictable nature of the National League, illustrated by some surprise results on Tuesday night. Lincoln held at home by York, Dagenham and Redbridge beaten at home by Maidstone, Dover beaten at Woking. 3 relegation threatened sides, causing problems for 3 of the promotion chasers. There's certainly no doubt about this either, that Tranmere came into this, you look at the form guide, you look at the league table, as big favourites. But the ball has barely been in the Chester half so far.
Well, they've not really started very well, despite the controversial penalty that was given against them. They haven't quite got the front 2 into the game early enough. I mentioned about the conditions. The rain's actually slightly lightened up a little bit.
Mickey Mellon, a former Tranmere player, of course, who's achieved promotions with 3 different clubs as a manager. A title winner with Fleetwood at this level in 2012. Aided by the goals of a certain Jamie Vardy. Was also promoted, Adam, 3 times as a player as well. He says he just loves this time of year, the big games.
Yeah, it's a massive time of the year. This is what you get paid for. This is where you get dealt with pressure. Mickey's done a brilliant job since he's come into Tranmere. It's big expectations on his shoulders to try and continue from Gary Brabham, which ended very sadly when they went to Sutton. But they just seem a lot more organised now, and he's had to deal with a lot. Ben Toilet missing tonight, who I think has been influential for him, especially in the last 6 weeks. And he's had to change his formation, I feel, to try and get the players playing in a certain way again, just due to the personnel that he's got. But Ben missing is a massive blow for him.
Had been in wonderful form, hadn't he, Toilet? Played forward here by Ihekwe. This is Astles, who got that very late equaliser in the reverse fixture, which ended 2-2 at Prenton Park. This is Adam Mekki. It was caught there, but the referees played the advantage. The shot some way off target by Jay Harris.
It's the first time real opportunity that's opened up for Tranmere in that final third. Mickey trying to instigate it. There's no real conviction in the shot though from Harris, leaning back slightly. Slightly more positive from the away side.
Lynch with the goal kick. He's recently regained his place from Liam Roberts, who's on loan from Walsall. Lofted forward by Hughes. It's one for Mangan to chase. Guided out by Sam Hughes. What a big honour for young Sam Hughes tonight. Of course, wearing the armband for the first time for Chester at 19 years old, the youngest player in the club's history to do that. I guess you have got an idea how he feels, Adam. You wore the armband for Brighton at 21.
Yeah, it's a massive honour for you, especially for your family and friends, and a big night for him. Something can sometimes bring the best out of you. You feel the pressure, and the result goes wrong. You feel it a little bit more as a captain. And at his age, he's certainly having a lot of speculation for Football League clubs coming in for him. I think it's a great move from John just to give him that extra responsibility. Speaking to Chris Iluma about him, great lad in training, willing to learn, which you always want from youngsters. It's certainly a big night for him.
Vaughan plays forward here to Mecki. It's a bit better now from Tranmere, that early shot to the system. Mecki up against Hunt, gets the crossover, and that was a nice flick as well, clever from Cole Stockton.
Well, I mentioned earlier with the 3-5-2 that they like to play, you've got to get that width going. It was Mecki this time. Stockton just a little bit early on that front post, actually come off. That was Wade Joyce in the end that got the last touch towards the goalkeeper.
Howes with a throw-in. Hughes. Inadvertently left, I think, by Mangan. What about the fact that Cook, the top scorer for Tranmere, has been left out? Adam, a big pre-match talking point, 17 league goals this season. Well,
he'll be very, very disappointed, and he's been absolutely fine for 5 in his last 4, and he's been absolutely superb since he's come to Tranmere. Probably that Lincoln miss in that final third, the big target man that Gary Brabham was after. But you want to be playing every single game, and if you're being rested for an FA Trophy game and Stockton gets a hat-trick, you say fair play, but you've done enough in the league, I feel, to keep your place in the team.
Well, it was left by Richards, who knew that Alabi had gone beyond him, but it was Ihekwe who intervened for Tranmere. And now this is Andy Mangan. Rising above Richards. Played forward with purpose by Ihekwe. Just kept in here by Andy Mangan, former Shrewsbury player. Mangan's ball in there, and that was a brave header by Mecki.
It's twice now for Tranmere. They got crosses in. John McCarthy, don't be too pleased. They haven't stopped it enough. It's always going to be a difficult header there from Mecki.
Scored in March of 2016. He was actually born in Chester, Adam Mecki. Tranmere so desperate to keep the momentum going that they have at the minute, that promotion chasers crave, and beaten in 7, 5 of them wins. Chester emerging from their worst run of the season, didn't win in 6 for that Southport success last weekend. They lost 5 of those games as well. What a magnificent start it was for John McCarthy's side. Under the lights in Cheshire, a really good crowd here. It was the best crowd of the season at Prenton Park when the sides met in the reverse fixture, and they've turned out in their droves again tonight.
It's a great atmosphere in here tonight, and sometimes you just get that better feeling for derby games, and certainly the early goal for the home side sets it up brilliantly to get a reaction from Tranmere.
There's no midweek action for either of these sides. Tranmere had been due to play Forest Green, but that was called off due to a waterlogged pitch at Prenton Park. I guess it means that they're a little bit fresher than Mickey Mellon would have anticipated ahead of this local derby, but on the downside, it could mean a bit of fixture congestion going forward that they'll have to contend with. Played wide here by Harris. Necky, seen plenty of the ball in the opening 16 minutes or so. Richards going to grab. I've got to say, Adam, when you consider that Chester are playing a formation that they've not used at all this season, a 3-5-2, they've only had a few days to work on it. It seems to be going very well so far.
Well, they do, and it's, say credit to John McCarthy there, that always helps when you've got three solid centre-halves in Hughes, Astles and Hudson to be that backbone of the team. And you've got Alabi up front just to hold up that ball, and when you've got the pace of Richards and you've got two holding midfielders in Lloyd and Joyce to try and protect that midfield as well, to allow Durrell to make those runs in off the line, and you've got good movement from Norwood as well. Certainly can work in your favour.
It's a formation that's in vogue at the minute, isn't it? The 3-5-2. Of course, Tranmere lining up like that tonight as well, as they did against Barrow in the FA Trophy, a game they won 5-1. A change from the 4-4-2 is seen from in the National League prior to that. Into the feet here of Richards. Heavy first touch. Nice kick by Vaughan. Out of play for the Chester throw-in. Lloyd is able to get the return ball.
Well, it's just not quite happening for Mickey Mellon's side so far in these first 20 minutes.
Here's Alabi, the goal scorer. Held up by Vaughan. Right off the back of Necky. Real determination about Chester's play here. Look very much up for this. It was a huge lift for them, that victory at Southport. It wasn't necessarily that pretty, no, but after the run they'd been on, they really needed it.
I think the results against Dover and Dagenham, they felt they possibly got a point out of that. And sometimes when you don't deserve the points, like at Southport hit the crossbar a couple of times in the second half, you have to grind it out. That'd been a big confidence victory there for John McCarthy.
Once more, Chester are making life difficult for one of their big local rivals. Haven't been beaten yet this season by either Wrexham or Tranmere in 3 previous games, and in the lead here at the Diva Stadium. A chance to add to their lead as well, as it swung in dangerously, and it was Sam Hughes who got himself into a great position inside the area.
And Davies decides to come in, and he just comes back on his line. He's got to be a bit more confident than that as the goalkeeper. I don't think Richie Sutton does it anywhere near enough to stop Hughes getting a run on him. A big opportunity there for the captain tonight.
He was man of the match as he returned to a centre-back position against Southport. That's where he says he's most comfortable. That's where he wants to play. He has been used on occasion at right-back this season.
Yeah, listen, this is the type of player that you've got, somebody that's just willing to play for the side. I've done it myself. You are a natural centre-half, and this is where I think you'll see Sam Hughes play at a higher level. Certainly got the physique to go on and be a quality centre-half. Sometimes when you've got Astles and Hudson who've had fairly good seasons, you just sometimes might have to play at right-back, but certainly you won't be seeing him play right-back when he goes into the Football League.
Nicely worked by Durrell here to Richards. Advantage play by the referee. Alabi makes the run. He heck away with the sliding challenge. And McNulty looking to tidy up as Scott Davis gets it clear, and Richards has stayed down here. still. Richards down. Finally, we're going to see a stoppage in play, it would seem.
Times I've seen Tranmere struggle is when they play the number 10. That's late from Harris, reckless. See him leading with the elbow. Certainly leaving one on Kane Richards. Ball's gone there. It's a little bit naughty there, I think, from the midfielder.
He's a player who's been sent off 8 times in his career. Jay Harris has shown 14 yellow cards last season. Does like a tackle. This is Richie Sutton, player who won the National League with Mansfield back in 2013. There is so much promotion-winning experience in this Tranmere side, this Tranmere squad, and the manager as well, of course. Foul this time by Durrell.
I think that comes into major play when you look at experience, especially at this level. There's another late one on top of the ankle there.
Playing in a right wing-back position tonight, Elliot Durrell. What can Tranmere do from this? Sutton's forward from the back, Stockton's in there as well, as is Ihekwe. It's broken for Vaughan. First touch just got away from him.
It was a brilliant header from Sam Hughes there.
BT Sports Score tomorrow sees Mark Pugac joined by Jermaine Genus, Robbie Savage, Chris Sutton, Harry Kewell and Paul Ince. Tomorrow's live Premier League action comes from Anfield. Key in the race for the top 4 is Liverpool against Arsenal, also in 4K UHD. And Premier League tonight sees Jake Humphrey joined by Stephen Gerrard, Rio Ferdinand and Ian Wright to discuss the day's key talking points. Putting the pressure on McNulty, as in turn does Richards on Davis. Ihekwe used to be on Liverpool's books as a youngster, making his 100th league appearance for Tranmere tonight. Sutton. Nicely worked here to Hughes. Harris. Width provided by Vaughan. Decided not to use Meki. Does find Harris. Hudson. Defending well there, the former Wrexham man, although it will be a corner kick here for Tranmere.
We've done well there. Andy Mangan didn't get up on that. Really got the front 2 into the game. It's the main talking point coming into tonight. Cook and Norwood on the bench. Added pressure on the front 2. We've certainly got quality in Sutton and McNulty. Ihekwe as well, with the height and the quality of the ball from Hughes coming in.
It's a good ball, and right underneath the crossbar. Keeper punches it. It's fouled there. Alex Lynch.
That was good goalkeeping there. Going on him just to try and beat that. Goes around and stop him coming off his line. It was a good punch from him. So good spot there from the referee.
John McCarthy's side in the lead. Let's see what he's made of the first 25 minutes. He's speaking to Andy May.
One place to start, John, the penalty. Do you think it was a penalty?
I'm miles away from it, so I can't see it. What I do know is it's a really bright start from us. You know, we've got ourselves in the right place. It's a big team, Tranmere. They're a good team coming at us, and they're starting to get a little bit of control of the game. We just want Hey, when you're the smaller team, you're playing the bigger team, you just want your fair share of the decisions. We're having a little battle with the fourth at the moment, so that hopefully our younger players don't get bullied out of some of those ones. But delighted with the way they've gone about things.
The two Adams have been talking about this 3-5-2 setup. You happy with how it's going so far?
Hey, look, it's born out of injury problems for us. So we've worked hard on it. We had the injury problems early on the week, and hey, I'm not saying it's perfect because they're getting down our left-hand side quite a little bit in that channel. But we've got plenty of bodies in the middle of the park. When the ball comes in, we've dealt with it so far.
Nicely worked here by Mangan, who gets his way into the area. The block, an important one at that, was by Hughes, but Mangan looked lively there. Ihekwe now for Tranmere. It's probably their best period of the game so far, the visiting side. Looking to come from behind here. That early penalty from Alabi, the difference. Sutton swings it in. Goalkeeper Lynch came a long way, but it's a confident claim.
Well, it's always going to happen with the quality that Tranmere do possess, regardless of the injuries that they've got. In Mickey Mellon's side, you've got to keep asking questions of this young Chester side. So many times that you see that 15-20 minutes they play really, really well, and then you just lose your shape and you lose your head a little bit. And that happens when you're learning the game and when you go through young sides. When you've got the experience of Tranmere, yes, the first 15 minutes they didn't start well, but this is a long derby game, anything can happen.
Ihekwe. Now McNulty. It's a lovely ball. Right Halsh. It's challenged by Joyce, who, as ever, is getting stuck in out there.
That's what I was talking about in the pre-match build-up. Doral's really going to try and push on. John was talking about them getting down that left-hand side, so it's so important that Wade Joyce just offers that little bit of support.
Cross by Right Halsh. And it's going to come out here to Harris. Good block by Astles, got himself in a good position there in the centre half.
Jay Harris did absolutely brilliantly, just reacts first to it. The cross coming in from that side, it was Norwood on the edge of the box. Doesn't get there first, but Astles the one there, being big, being strong as a defender. Much better from Harris there to be on the front foot on the edge of the box.
Astles in his second spell with Chester, was also with them as a youngster. I have to say, I felt that he looked better as well back alongside Hughes in that game against Southport. They just seem to complement each other well. Their ball on the Wirral, Ryan Astles. This will mean a lot to him this game, as it does to the Chester public in general at large. Meki. Tranmere certainly having the better of the possession right now, but Chester doing well to just dig in for the time being.
Yeah, they will do. And a good spell now from Mickey Mellon's side. Still not really test Lynch from me enough in terms of the pressure. They're certainly growing into the game a lot more.
All three centre-halves are in there for Tranmere. It's a deeper delivery. It's over the head, though, of Sutton. And just a reminder that you can see every goal from every game in the Vanarama National League highlight show. And on Sunday from 10 o'clock on BT Sport 3. Some big fixtures. We'll bring you the highlights of playoff chasing Aldershot host table toppers Lincoln. Two more promotion contenders meet at the new lawn as third place Forest Green host Macclesfield, who are just about still in the playoff picture. Seventh meets second in the northeast as Dagenham and Redbridge make the long trip to Gateshead, and several key relegation battles as well. Maidstone, Southport, North Ferriby, Woking, Torquay, Guiseley. It really is hotting up nicely in the National League. Both ends of the table you could say that about as well. Good feet from Meki. Shot is watched wide by Lynch.
Well, he's looked dangerous, Meki. They got into good areas centrally. And he's picked up good little pockets of space there. He's always looking to try and get on the half turn. Don't mind trying to see that shot from a distance, trying to test the goalkeeper.
Spent time at Reading as a youth. Adam Meki was on a standby list for the Welsh under-21s back in 2012. Really looking to make the most of an opportunity to start here tonight. Strong header forward was by McNulty. It's Ridehouse who got his head to it, but unfairly, according to the referee, Anthony Coggins. Forward here by Sam Hughes. Easily taken down though by Ihekwe. Harris spotted the run forward here by Vaughan, who's got Hunt for attention. He's done well there. Vaughan wins the corner.
That was a great ball from Jay Harris. What you want from your holding midfielder when you've got two wing-backs in Ridehouse and Vaughan that looked to bomb on as much as possible. And you've got comfortable possession of the ball. That's when you can go as a wing-back and a full-back. And your midfielders looking to try and stretch play. They've done that 3 or 4 times now. Those long diagonals out wide causing Chester problems.
And all the centre halves are forward. Once more, Chester deal with it and get it clear. Up until that clean sheet at Southport, they had been really struggling defensively. They've gone 9 games in all competitions without a clean sheet, conceding 22 times in that period. Chester, but have looked solid and resolute so far. Another challenge to that potentially here, but Ridehouse runs it out of play.
He's looked bright. Ridehouse down that left-hand side, cuts inside. Just a little tuck there on him.
A Huddersfield player signed for Tranmere back in 2013. Actually joined them when they were in League One, part of the back-to-back relegations. Strength shown by Ihekwe. Now McNulty. Vaughan. 10 appearances for Cheltenham last season. That won the National League title in the end of the canter in the previous campaign.
Just looking at the front two for Tranmere, they're not showing enough for the players on the ball. Both of them are looking to run away too often. The movement's too similar, Adam, at the moment.
Well, there were many expecting, of course, Norwood and Cook to be up front tonight for Tranmere, despite that 5-1 win as Meckie drives the shot in, blocked by Blaine Hudson.
He's certainly somebody that's really grown into the game at Meckie. Hold-up play there from Stockton. Don't want that little ball into him. You've got to be big, you've got to be physical. Had a couple of corners now from this side, and not hit with any real quality. They've been overhit by Hughes so far.
Gets another opportunity here, Jeff Hughes. Goalkeeper stayed on his line. Had plenty of players in front of him there as well. It's Richards who's looking to bring it clear here for Chester. Well, they just seem reasonably content at the moment, Adam, Chester, to sit back and protect what they've got.
Exactly right, Adam. They just seem really pinned in at the moment. I was talking about those second balls going to be absolutely vital.
It's going to drop here for Meckie, and it's too much on it for Vaughan, who's taken up a really good position.
I was talking about those second balls in and around the 18-yard box. Tranmere now just going a little bit more direct. Wrong decision there from Meckie. I thought maybe they got the shot off.
Andy Cook on the bench tonight, 17 goals in the National League this season, and he has a good record as well against Chester. 3 goals in 5 career appearances. I think another thing that's so important about Cook as well, Adam, is the big club National League mentality that he'll have, having been at Grimsby for 2 years.
Oh, exactly. His experience will be absolutely vital on a night like tonight when the pitch is certainly favourable for a big man to try and hold it up in that final third. Listen, he'll be disappointed he's not starting tonight. But all you can do is come on and show the manager why you should be starting when he gets that opportunity.
It's always a difficult decision for Mickey Mellon to make when you consider that Stockton had scored his first ever career hat-trick in that victory over Barrow. Mangan certainly played his part in that match as well, scored a beauty of a free kick. guess if Tranmere fans are to take the positives out of the situation, they've got a luxury of options in that final third.
Exactly.
4 good forwards.
Steve Burr and Jim Harvey were saying before, most managers in the National League were like 4 quality strikers that Mickey Mellon has at disposal. It's about squad rotation as well. And with the games coming thick and fast in the FA Trophy, and the National League is seeing things out. Certainly keeps everybody on their toes. If Andy Cook can be dropped for a game, shows that anybody can lose their place in the team at any given time.
Ihekwe. Offside flag up against Andy Mangan. Oh, what a big call it was so early into the game for Anthony Coggins. This the penalty that was awarded to Chester in the most bizarre of circumstances.
Well, they're 2 horrendous decisions. 1, it wasn't a free kick on Richards, and 2, it wasn't a penalty on Horwood. But given that opportunity, he had to wait a long time to take his penalty, and he took it very well. But they haven't really got him into the game enough afterwards, Adam.
Just too much on it for Horwood. Astel's there first, and then in turn was Ihekwe. Just wonder really in terms of Chester, their situation in the table, very unlikely to get involved in a relegation battle. Too much in the way of points to make up to get involved in the playoffs now, Adam. You'd think that motivation could be a problem for them, but on the evidence of what we've seen so far tonight, that's not the case.
No, not at all, and I think that man there, John McCarthy, will take a lot of credit. We've got the biggest of budgets. Man management is vitally important, and I'll give Chris Alumo a shout in there as well. So important that you keep the players motivated, and you can see the reaction that they've had this season. The budget that they've got, they should not be where they are in the league with the type of player that they've got, but they feel that they're building something here. They want to keep the majority of the squad here for next season. They want to keep the squad relatively small, a bit like Gary Waddock at Aldershot, and try and build on that. Yes, they're going to probably lose Sam Hughes in that, but the money that they will acquire from that transfer, he can certainly put back into the squad.
He's very much a manager, John McCarthy, from speaking to him. He's all about the squad dynamic, says that sometimes he even concentrates more on the players who aren't in the team than those who are. Feels that he doesn't like that old adage that some players need a kick up the backside. He says they all just need love.
Well, they do, and I need a little bit of love from you every now and then, which I don't get.
Here's Alavi. Bit of space for Joyce. Good run as well from Horwood, which was spotted, but by Ihekwe as well.
I could say Chester's final ball's been pretty poor. Alavi into the game. You're looking at Stockton and Magnan now. As I said earlier, their movement's too similar. They're really trying to pull away from Chester. Now just reverted back to a back 4 for the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Nicely worked here to Ridehouse. Closing him down is Lloyd, but Ridehouse just done brilliantly, and he's got 2 to aim at in the middle. Comes out here to Hughes. Ridehouse again, looking to get him on the ball at every opportunity. Fine crosser of the ball. It was Hudson who got his head to that. But it's just coming straight back at Chester here.
I said they're getting a lot of joy down that left-hand side. John McCarthy's gone back to a 4 to try and stop those crosses coming in, but Ridehouse is getting a lot of joy.
Haven't seen too much of this man, have we? Durrell. It's a bright start from Chester in terms of an attacking force. Having to do plenty of tracking back and defending. Exactly half their National League away games this season. Not a bad record on their travels. The last of their 4 defeats on the road came not too far away from here at Macclesfield on New Year's Day. Mekki. Now Elliot Durrell. the big ask of the goal scorer, Alabi. Ihekwe inside the final 5 minutes of the first half here at the Diva Stadium.
So apart from the first 15 minutes, Mickey Mellon's side has completely dominated the game in terms of possession, in terms of crosses, in terms of testing the goalkeeper.
I've had some big wins here this season. Chester 3-0 against Dagenham and Redbridge. 4-0 they beat the FA Cup giant killers Sutton United. 5-0 against promotion chasing Dover. And they'd love a big victory over a local rival tonight. Just 17 miles between the respective stadiums. John McCarthy in his pre-match interview said how special it would be. They would remember it for a long time, he said, if they could get the win. Still a long time for Tranmere to turn it around now. Alabi looking to get on the turn, and he's got Durrell up in support. Alabi tried the more difficult ball, looking for Richards.
He's talking about that final ball from Chester's been pretty poor. Got to make the right decision. Durrell was in acres of space. Rideout's really pushed on. Ihekwe was marking him, so the space was there for the through ball. Made the wrong decision there.
Sutton. Given away to Joyce. Richards in a nice pocket of space, but just the wrong side of him, intercepted by McNulty.
Rideout is on down his left-hand side.
Hughes. Sent long by Astles. Now by Alabi on McNulty.
That's good experience, isn't it? Just get your body between the man and ball. Just get that touch in your back and go down.
There's one promotion with Fleetwood under the management of Mickey Mellon, Steve McNulty. Hudson's header wasn't the greatest, and this is Necky. Less than 2 minutes of the first half remaining. Hughes has got away from the challenge of Joyce. It was Durrell in the right back position. He won it back for Chester, and it was an important challenge as well by Durrell.
Just can't seem to hold it up front in the minute, Chester, when the ball goes up to them. The turnover is too frequent. You just can't expect it as a defence. We saw them against Gateshead as well on BT. The turnover happens too quickly, and you're just relying on, you know, waves and waves of attack.
Approaching the final minute of normal time at the end of this first half at the Diva Stadium. Can Tranmere get themselves on terms before half-time? Taken short here by Hughes. It's Ridehouse who weighs up the options. It was always dipping, but not quickly enough for Ridehouse.
Well, they've been really poor from corners, Tranmere, tonight. 3 or 4 on the other hand, on the other side from Hughes has gone too far. This opportunity there from Ridehouse to get a ball into the box of quality. Goes over.
Big team talk ahead of that man. Mickey Mellon is a manager who says he's not afraid to make big calls, big decisions when he feels they're needed. I just wonder whether he's got a half-time change in mind.
We'll have to wait and see. I think the 3-5-2 certainly not something that he'd be looking to change. It's a formation that he's played at Shrewsbury, so he knows it very, very well. He used it when they got promoted from League 2 and to keep them in League 1 as well. So it's nothing new for him. I just think the front two, the movement's too similar at the minute, Adam. They're both running away from the ball, and there's not enough rotation.
They've won possession back here in a good area. 5 forward in this attack for Tranmere. It's Stockton. He's got it onto his right foot. And again, just look how many blue and white shirts behind the ball, making life difficult for Tranmere. 3 minutes of added time as the cross is swung in towards Mangan. This is Ridehouse. Mangan again with 3 waiting in the middle. Onto his right foot. The block was by Hughes, and still they're looking to scramble it clear. Kept in here by Durrell, who's then really clever to play it against Jeff Hughes.
Well, they've done well, Chester, tonight. So when Tranmere have gone on these waves of attack, They've gone very, very narrow. They've allowed crosses to come into the box. They've won their headers. They've defended well as a team in this first half, but I don't know if you can do that for 45 minutes in the second.
To say Chester's home record this season, generally good. They've taken 27 points from a possible 48 here. I've just struggled a little bit of late at home there. Gone 4 home matches without a win in all competitions. Here's Richards. Looking to hold off Ihekwe. He's looking to carry on there, Richards, but referee Anthony Coggins pulling the play back. Clearly the suggestion from Jay Harris is that he touched the ball.
My initial reaction was it was a free kick, but certainly the replay might show something different that I've missed. Just picks up the ball well. Goes round Ihekwe. I don't know what he's complaining about there. It's a clear foul. I think his reaction afterwards has got himself in the book.
Confirmation of a yellow card for Michael Ihekwe. We've had 2 of the 3 minutes to be added on at the end of this first half, and this is in a nice range for Horde or Durrell.
Personally, I think it suits the left foot up. Durrell's had a pretty quiet first half. He might fancy it.
Horde it was who got the winner at Southport last weekend, a former Tranmere player.
That's a big ball, he's got to get it over.
Here comes Durrell. Oh! Fantastic effort from Elliot Durrell, and Chester come within a whisker of doubling their advantage.
Well, he's had a quiet first half, but you know when it's a set play, certainly got that quality to get it up and over the wall. That is so unlucky from Elliot Durrell. Christian Alumu can't believe it.
He made lots of headlines, didn't he, earlier in the season, Durrell? And he scored that spectacular goal from inside his own half against Boreham Wood back in August. Hudson's had plenty behind it as well. Last seconds of this first half. One ball forward from Scott Davis. That's the half-time whistle in this local derby. Anthony Coggins at the centre of things, had a huge call to make in the first 5 minutes of the game, awarding a controversial penalty to Chester after Horde had been brought down, and it was Chester's top scorer James Alabi who took the responsibility from the spot and drove it home for his 14th league goal of the season. Coming up, the half-time thoughts of Steve Burr and Jim Harvey, but at the break it is Chester 1, Tranmere 0.
Welcome back to the Diva Stadium. Chester against Tranmere here, second half coming up. Just a quick reminder though, our next live game in the Vanarama National League is the league leaders Lincoln City against Forest Green Rovers at Sincil Bank. That is Saturday the 25th of March from 11:45 on BT Sport 1. Steve Burr and Jim Harvey still alongside me. Jim, it doesn't look like Tranmere are going to make any changes at this stage. We saw Randy Cook warming up. Would you bring him on in the second half?
Well, he has got time to bring him on, but I would think more importantly is a little bit of creativity is needed. Chester have got the early goal, they've sat back for the rest of the game. Now Tranmere have to open them up, and to do that you need somebody to be able to create the opportunities. Cole Stockton on Saturday scored a hat-trick, so he's capable of scoring. If that doesn't happen early, then Cookie's always available to come on.
Steve, we heard from John McCarthy during the first half. He said it's not perfect. He was reasonably happy with what he'd seen.
He'll be delighted, John will, at the moment, because Chester are proving very hard to break down, so I'm sure John will be delighted with the way things are going at the moment, yeah.
Let's get back to our commentary team then. Adam Virgo and Adam Somerton.
Thanks, Natalie. Chester here looking for what would be their first win over Tranmere since October 1990. And they won this local derby 2-1 at Prenton Park in the old Division 3. Tranmere recorded a league double over Chester last season, a James Norwood penalty enough to win the corresponding fixture. There's a James Alabi spot kick that is the difference as we start this second half. And Tranmere already looking to get on the front foot. As Vaughan gets forward down that right-hand side. In here to Harris. And now Hughes with a neat turn. Wide for Vaughan, early crossing opportunity for him. Hudson got it clear. Slip on the edge of the area by Hudson, who I think felt that he got a shove in the back there. Up to Alabi. Richards has made a great run through the middle. Heckway with the challenge.
He's got to be so careful. He's already on a yellow card. Got Alabi running like that. Very close.
In comes the cross. Good defensive header clear. Tranmere really looked like they mean business at the start of this second half. Meckie with a chance to cross. Really important block by Hudson. And listen to the noise from those Tranmere fans behind that goal.
Well, this is what you need to do. They have a pretty poor first half. You need to give something those travelling fans to sing about and shout about. I'm sure Mickey Mellon would have had one or two words with these players. Try and get that tempo going.
In goes the corner. The goalkeeper stayed on his line, and Heckway had taken up a fantastic position, but just couldn't get it on target.
Well, I was talking about the poor deliveries coming in from Tranmere in the first half. He does brilliantly, because he gets the right side of Hughes. He's not going to get there. That should be in the back of the net. That should be 1-1. And that would have been the perfect start for Tranmere.
Did get a goal in the FA Trophy against Barrow in that 5-1 win last weekend, Michael Heckway, but hasn't scored yet in the league this season. Has been talking about how he believes there is the belief at Tranmere right now that they can go up automatically. And he said as well, which I thought was interesting, Adam, that last season's experience is a big help for the players that remain from that squad.
It massively hurts you a lot when, you know, you don't even make the playoffs, let alone have a poor season. You know the quality's there in this Tranmere side. Many of these players should be playing league football. They've certainly got the squad mentality and the team mentality for that promotion.
They've got a manager who's been there and done it as well on 3 occasions. Mickey Mellon's been promoted as a manager. Harris. Hughes' ball was rather telegraphed and intercepted. This is Ryan Lloyd. He says he's playing the best football of his career right now. Richards. Too much on it for Alabi. They'll have to make more of situations like that, Chester, because you get the feeling they're going to come under a lot of pressure.
Well, we saw many times this season. It's the game management of players, reading the situation. You can't always look at the bench to try and tell you what to do. You need your experienced players to come along. And this is where, lots of Sam Hughes, yes, you are young, but you've been given that captain's armband tonight.
Richards, that's a better ball for Alabi. And Durrell's getting forward in support as well. Up against Heckway, who is on a yellow card, remember. Ambitious from Alabi.
Many times I've seen this season with Tranmere, the one time they get hurt is if you get someone in that number 10 position and you get him on the turn. This time it's Richards. Heckway can't make that challenge. He's already on a yellow card. It's a poor delivery from Alabi in that final third.
Still can be a little raw at times, Alabi, understandable for a player who is only 22. His ambition is to play in the Championship one day, James Alabi. Good header by Hunt, and now Horwood. Well to hold on to that, Horwood. Free kick given away by Cole Stockton.
They've come out in the second half, Chester. 4 at the back now. John McCarthy's ripped up the team sheet of that 3-5-2 that he started with for probably the first 40 minutes of that first half. Too many crosses were coming into the box. Whitehouse was getting a lot of joy down that left-hand side. Durrell wasn't doing enough defensively for me when Chester had the ball. But certainly what he can do. It's a good set play. You saw that with the free kick, and no doubt from this one as well.
And it goes from Elliot Durrell. Goalkeeper's come a long way, and he wasn't convincing. And it's been tapped home, but the whistle does go. Astel's in the box, but the flag was up quickly.
It's a good early decision there from the linesman. Just how offside was he? He's on. Sometimes it is difficult for the linesman, Adam, to give that. They made a couple of decisions wrong tonight. Possibly they'd have given that the foul as well on the goalkeeper.
Tranmere on the attack. Necking. Vaughan's first time header. It's Cole Stockton who gives chase. Early ball in from him. Nets by Astles, who puts in a no-nonsense clearance. Tranmere fans, as you can see behind that goal, have made the short journey from the Wirral to Cheshire in their droves. The club sold out their 1,100 ticket allocation. Hughes with the ball into the area. Alabi. Lloyd. Durrell. It's Lloyd again. He rejected a £10,000 move to Southport in January. He preferred to stay on loan from Port Vale at Chester because of the experience he's been getting. Feels his game's really developing under John McCarthy. I have to say, as a manager, McCarthy, his players, when you read the interviews and listen to them as well, his players really buy into what he's trying to do here. Seems to be a player's manager, as Sam Hughes has found.
Well, certainly a lot more tempo to Tranmere in this second half, looking to move the ball quickly, trying to get crosses of real quality into the box.
We've had 7 minutes of the second half, still no changes from Mickey Mallett since the enforced one he had to make early on because of that injury to Maynard. But Cook, you just get the feeling at every opportunity he's getting up and down that line, warming up, as if to say to his manager, stick me on.
Well, you do. When you've been dropped for the game, you are bitterly disappointed, and you actually want to say to the manager, get me on, I'll prove you wrong. Norwood's running up and down the line. Seems a little bit more of an exercise that they're looking to come on sooner rather than later.
Richie Sutton. And now Meckie, who's got Stockton up in support. And Meckie's shot was tame in the air. Just seemed to take a while to make up his mind.
Yeah, he just delays it too long. You need something in your mind when you get the ball now. The pace that he's got, he needs to go towards Astles. You know you've got the pace to take it around him. By the time you cut back inside, Hunt can get back goal side. Keeper sets himself brilliantly, close down that angle.
Volley clearance by Sam Hughes. This is Lee Vaughan. Jay Harris, former Chester player. Hughes turns away here from Joyce. Harris, who's got Horwood in front of him. Wide here is Vaughan. Good build-up play by Tranmere. Ball in wasn't bad either. And Jay Harris will strike it! What a hit from Jay Harris! Fantastic goal from the first half substitute. Picked his spot in that bottom corner and arrowed it home for Tranmere, who are on terms in the derby.
Well, there's nothing more than they deserve in the second half, Tranmere. I was talking about second balls tonight going to be vitally important, but what he does brilliantly here, Jay Harris, he just strikes it sweetly, doesn't try and hit it as hard as he can, he just wants to get a connection to test the goalkeeper, hits it through a gap of players. Lloyd can't quite get the touch on it to get it away, but it's a quality finish. You'll just see here now, just strikes it brilliantly into the ground, uses the zip of the surface to take it past Alex Lynch. It's nothing more than the away side have deserved. They've been brilliant in this second half, asking questions to Tranmere, and they've been answered.
His first league goal of the season. Hadn't scored since March of 2016, Jay Harris. He's come up with a big goal there, though, for Tranmere. Title chasing Tranmere, who, remember, could go second tonight. If they can turn this around and take all 3 points, they would go from 4th to just behind Lincoln.
It's massive tonight, isn't it, the result? You're looking at possibly John Steele's side with Gateshead, Forest Green, Barrow, Aldershot and York to come up in the coming weeks.
Well, Mickey Mellon's got to be delighted, not just with that hit from Harris, but with the way that his side have gone about their business in the second half. And there the table as it stands, then Tranmere would go level on points with Dagenham and Redbridge, who were second. Forest Green just took behind them on fourth. What a race it is for the title in the National League,
isn't it? Giving a credit to Dan Cowley's side, how they've kept that momentum going in the FA Cup, in the league, in the trophy.
Richards with Horwood furthest forward, Alabi getting forward in support as well. Richards heading for the byline in Sled McNulty. Well, they might just have scored, Tranmere, but they're still going to throw on Andy Cook here, it would seem. 11 minutes into the second half. Mickey Mellon seeing fit to bring on his top scorer now.
We'll be looking for keep Magnan on, keep that pace of him running in behind, maybe Stockton to come off, a like for like, but what a strike it was from Jay Harris. Something you look at him, maybe he doesn't score enough goals, especially in that 4-4-2 with Jennings last season in particular. You'd like that strike, the zip of the surface, and he doesn't hit it too hard, Adam. So many times you'll see players try and hit that as hard as they can, and that'll end up in the car park. Great strike from him, and the momentum certainly with the away side now.
Used the surface to his advantage as well, didn't he? It really skipped up of what's a greasy top at the Diva Stadium. Harrison, Hudson, the players have gone to ground. Tranmere ready to make that change there. Andy Cook coming on there. Great season he's had. And the player here replaces his Stockton with that hat-trick in the FA Trophy at the weekend. 64 goals for Andy Cook in his last 116 league or playoff appearances for Tranmere and Barrow. He is a consistent goal scorer at this level, and on now to look to try and get the goals that would put Tranmere up to joint second in the table.
Well, certainly you want a frustrated Andy Cook to be coming on now to prove why he should be starting tonight. But it happens in football now. Got to put that personal pride aside and use that for the team.
Well, he's a manager, Mickey Mellon, who seems to embrace being at such a big club in the National League. Chester readying a change. Danny O'Brien about to come on. He says, Mickey Mellon, that Tranmere fans don't suffer fools gladly, expect you to deliver. They would have been happy with that pass as Horwood here looks for Richards. Lloyd. Going to be interesting to see who comes off for O'Brien to come on for Chester. Both managers showing their hands in the opening 15 minutes of this second half. Word is from the bench that it's Horwood who's going to be coming off for Chester.
Well, I'm looking at him now. Seems to be walking fine, no injury for that. Maybe just a little bit more control in that midfield, maybe, Adam.
Horwood on the ball and looks for Alabi. The goalkeeper's come out. It's Alabi. Goes down right on the edge of the area. It was Ihekwe who kept pace with it.
The original thing was to go for the early shot. The keeper was way off his line.
Almost an hour gone. Mangan. Astel's heard the shout from Alex Lynch.
We just need to settle it down now. Been a barrage of pressure from Tranmere in this second half.
Chester have kept clean sheets in every one of their 8 home wins this season. They've not won a single home game in which they've conceded a goal. 3 draws and 4 defeats in those matches, so that doesn't bode well for Chester going on to win this. Tranmere looking to become the 6th side to win at the Diva Stadium in the National League this season. 3 of their promotion rivals have already managed it: Forest Green, Lincoln and Gateshead. Is that change then? Evan Horwood is indeed the player to come off here for Danny O'Brien in his second loan spell at Chester. It was last year between February and April of 2016. His parent club are Wigan Athletic. His latest debut as a substitute against Dagenham Redbridge. Signed on the 30th of January. That's the only time he's featured since coming back to Chester. Scored a nice goal in a friendly loss against Fylde on Monday. He played as a winger. McNulty looking to hold off Richards. Richie Sutton to take the throw in here for Tranmere. Harris. Mangan finds Meckie. Meckie's continued his run. It's played inside instead, though, to Jeff Hughes, who's got all the time in the world to weigh up the cross towards Cook at the back post.
We've done brilliantly to keep that alive. Andy Cook, an overhit cross.
Vaughan, again, it's sent in dangerously. Indecision from the goalkeeper. It was the quality of the ball that forced that indecision, really. Hughes gets it wide. Set long and hopeful by Joyce.
They just can't seem to keep the ball at the moment, Chester. The distance between James Alabi, you can see him there, squeeze up. The back four are just looking to sit deeper and deeper. Just allowing these waves of pressure now to come on from Tranmere. You can't keep doing that. So many times this season, Chester's allowed too much on them.
Meckie able to bring this a long way. Want to try and get the return off Mangan. Now Harris. Mangan. And still, thought about the shot. Did eventually hit it and wins the corner.
Well, this is a good Tranmere now that we are seeing. They would have been disappointed with their first half performance. They're going towards their own fans. They've given something to them to cheer about with that goal. The momentum is really now with Mickey Mellon's side.
Here comes the corner. And the referee has seen an infringement in there. That will be a Chester free kick. The goalkeeper Lynch going to ground. Let's hear what John McCarthy has made of this second half so far. He's speaking to Andy May.
John, Tranmere have definitely turned things around, obviously not just with the scoreline with how they're playing right now. How do you plan to try and hopefully stop them winning the game there?
If we're honest, you know, in terms of possession and shape, they control the game, and we accept that. We know what our role is tonight, is to make it difficult for them, and we've done that. We've done our bit of the job in terms of we've got a team that's had a lot of pace and a lot of energy, and we're starting to tire a little bit because they've controlled the game. I need a little bit more belief, so it's to keep my lads going through this little spell. If we could put a few chances, James Alabi's had a good chance. If we can pass the ball a little bit better, it'll bring us back into the game. But it's difficult. We hold our hands up. I'm looking for somebody to inspire us at the moment.
Could be Danny O'Brien.
Let's hope so.
So eager, John McCarthy, just to get to that 50-point target that they'd set themselves, so close to achieving that now as well. Said that when they took 1,200 fans to Prenton Park earlier in the season, it made him believe that they can eventually bridge the gap between a club like themselves and Tranmere. It's a big ask. I think Ada Virgo has already mentioned the huge difference in terms of budget of Chester and many of the other big ex-Football League sides. This is a foul by Cook.
Well, certainly the expectation of their start of the season with Chester was just to stay in the division. And they've exceeded that into mid-table. We saw a Braintree last season under Dan Cowley how well you can do with a lack of budget.
Minutes still to go at the Diva Stadium. This game very much in the balance. And the likes of Lincoln City and Forest Green and Dagenham and Redbridge and others will be looking on with interest as Meckie goes up against O'Brien, and the 20-year-old showed good strength there. Chester up. Tranmere appealing for handball. Anthony Coggins pulling the play back here for a free kick to Chester. Tranmere supporters hoping that their club is finally on the way back up. Suffered back-to-back relegations in 2014 and 2015, the latter bringing their 94-year tenure as a Football League club to an end. Just outside the promotion places, playoff places last season. They have to defend here as Chester look dangerous. The shot by Johnny Hunt, a rare foray forward from the home side. Just caught there, Lane Hudson.
I originally thought he'd overrun it. You see that from your forward, closing the ball down. Just a little bit late there. He'll certainly take that, Chester, just give that little bit of breathing space, that quality of delivery that Durrell certainly possesses.
Astles is one of those in there, as is Sam Hughes. Big physical presence of Alabi to aim at as well. Hekwe got a head to it, and it's going to be a corner here to Chester.
Well, there's an important header there from Hekwe. Gets a tap on the head there from his captain, realises how important that touch was. If he misses that, bounces towards Scott Davis, causes the goalkeeper problems. So it was important that he got something on that.
It's going to be Ryan Lloyd here to take the corner. Towards that near post. Oh, what a header! Brilliant from Ryan Astles! Used to play for Tranmere as a youngster. Got that late equaliser against them at Prenton Park this season. They must be sick of the sight of it. And Chester have regained the lead here.
Well, I'm sure Mickey Mellon will be absolutely furious with this. It's McNulty that was marking him to start with. It's a poor goal to give away, but quality ball in. Actually, Kane Richards just takes Vaughan away from that post. But when you've been under a lot of pressure, set plays become vital, and it's that desire to go and attack it, and Ryan Astles does that.
Brilliant movement, wasn't it? To find that bit of space and then direct the header into that corner.
Not scoring against Tranmere, doesn't he?
Tranmere looking to respond immediately. Certainly a goal that's come against the run of play, as Vaughan sends it in towards that near post. Corner kick to Tranmere. What a good game we've got here.
It's been a brilliant game. Great advert for the National League here tonight, Adam. So many times you play in these derby games and sometimes that quality can be missing. Certainly with attitude and everything that teams have put in so far, certainly not over yet.
Going to see a change, it would seem, here before Tranmere take this corner kick. Norwood is going to be coming on. James Norwood, formerly of Forest Green, has got 3 goals in 5 career league appearances against Chester. And he scored in both his appearances, actually, for Tranmere against Chester. Mangan it is who's made way for him. He's with Brighton and Crystal Palace as a youngster, James Norwood. Someone you know quite well, Adam.
I was saying he was a youngster when he was at Brighton. He was coming through the ranks there as well. I say someone who scored goal at Forest Green. Goals here last season.
Not quite sure why he's been sent back here. The assistant not happy that he was shown his boots as he comes on. I can't recall seeing a faster yellow card.
Just the linesman's been really busy. He's been standing there for 2 minutes. He wants to come on, he wants to get a goal back for his side. The linesman's checking his cycling shorts or studs, it's ridiculous.
Inside the final 20 minutes. Chester scramble it clear. Tranmere are just going to keep coming back at them though. Another good wide ball comes in. McNulty tries to keep it going for Tranmere. And now Larby can lead a counter-attack here for Chester. Tranmere rushing numbers back. Richards up in support. And Larby still going. Jeff Hughes dispossesses him eventually. And how stretched is this game now?
Yeah, it really is. Great tackle there from Hughes. Larby just overruns it. Great atmosphere. It's got everything of a making of a great 25 minutes, half an hour left.
Foul by Ryan Lloyd. Proper derby match atmosphere. Chester changed that. Lucas Dawson is coming on here for what is his Chester debut. Going to replace Kane Richards. Dawson, and he signed on Thursday following a trial period with Chester. His last National League appearance actually came at the Diva Stadium against Chester for Nuneaton. He was on the losing side that day in April 2015. Spent a lot of time with Stoke City as a youngster, 9 years in actual fact. Ridehouse with the cross, Astles with the header. Well, Tranmere have been dominant since going a goal behind. James Norwood booked 37 seconds after coming onto the pitch. It's in towards Cook. Off target from the big centre forward. And the frustration builds visibly for Tranmere. BT Sports Score tomorrow sees Mark Pugac joined by Jermaine Genus, Robbie Savage, Chris Sutton, Harry Kewell and Paul Ince. Tomorrow's live Premier League action comes from Anfield. Key in the race for the top four. Liverpool against Arsenal is also in 4K UHD. Premier League tonight sees Jake Humphrey joined by Steven Gerrard, Rio Ferdinand and Ian Wright to discuss the day's key talking points. Again, also in 4K UHD. I hope you're enjoying this as much as we are right now. Wonderful game in the National League, and so key potentially as well in the race for the title. Tranmere looking to rescue this situation. It's a good first contribution from Dawson, the new side.
This is why he's come on. Trying to add a little bit more defensive duties in that midfield area. Thorough upper side now with Alabi, just in the number 10 position.
Well, undoubtedly more of the pressure tonight on Mickey Mellon than John McCarthy. Chester mid-table, Tranmere going for the title. And what a performance McCarthy's Chester players have put in for him tonight. So many of them have been saying in the local media how much they're desperate to stay at the club, feel that there's something special potentially building ahead of next season. Publicly saying they want to sign new contracts, several of them. That must be great for John McCarthy to hear.
We see so many times, Adam, time and time again in the National League, you try and build momentum as a team and all of a sudden you lose 7 or 8 players to contracts. So especially at this level, to try and build momentum and keep the core of your squad so important the next season.
In goes the free kick from Tranmere. Cook couldn't get to it. Surely he will get a chance, you would think. Kept in initially by Becky. What a weekend it is in the National League to come. Some really big games. Playoff chasing Aldershot, host tabletoppers Lincoln. 2 more promotion contenders meet at the New Law. Forest Green up against Macclesfield, who are still just about in the playoff picture. 7th meets 2nd in the North East as Dagenham and Redbridge make the long trip to Gateshead. And several key relegation battles as well. Maidstone against Southport, Ferriby against Woking, Torquay against Guiseley. And remember, you can see all the goals from all of those games in the Vanarama National League highlight show. Sunday, 10 o'clock, BT Sport 3. Meck. 15 to go. Hughes. This is Dawson. Clearance by Lynch will find touch. You can understand Mickey Mellon checking his watch, Adam Burko.
And he certainly feels that his side would have chances to go, and how big will those drop points could be come the end of the season. So you want to keep him with that chasing pack with Lincoln, and so sometimes the inconsistency of Forest Green by winning against Woking, but then losing against Gateshead, then winning against Boreham Wood, losing to Macclesfield and then Barrow. So you can see them sometimes being very consistent, doing very well under Mark Cooper, and sometimes you just see them just throw games away as well. You know, Dovey, you've got that Ricky Miller, you know he can find the back of the net, you know they're going to get goals with Chris Kinnear's side. Gary Waddock's really pushing them in those playoff areas as well. I say John Steele with that quality that he's got, but the run of games that Dagenham have got against Gateshead, Forest Green, Barrow, Aldershot and York, that's going to be a massive test for his young squad.
Jeff Hughes getting on the turn. Becky turning into trouble. This is O'Brien for Chester. Both of the substitutes brought on have made a difference, and that was a challenge made right in front of the referee by Jay Harris. It was Durrell who was brought to ground by that tackle. Well, he is a player who comes with a reputation, Jay Harris. I mentioned he's been sent off 8 times in his career.
Certainly pure frustration there from Jay Harris. Certainly a player that doesn't shy away from a challenge. Had a really bad elbow on Richards earlier in that first half. I don't think he'd be making that challenge on a yellow card.
He's a former Chester player as well. Started at Everton, they let him go in the summer of 2006, and it was his goal that had got Tranmere Rovers on terms here.
So I think he's actually hurt himself in that challenge on Durrell.
Durrell limping away from it as well. Stands Tranmere heading towards what would be only their 4th league defeat under the management of Mickey Mellon, who was appointed on the 6th of October. First defeat didn't come until the 17th of December, a 2-1 loss at Lincoln. Been beaten by Macclesfield and Dagenham and Redbridge since. He wants more from his players here.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job since he's come in for Gary Brabham, using that experience that he's got from winning this league. Ben Tollett missing tonight's been vitally important. Jack Dunn as well, another player that's missing. Kirby, that unfortunate injury on the weekend. Key players are missing at key times. So you're looking now for the rest of your squad to really start standing up and putting in performances to try and see them over the line and get them back into the Football League.
I suppose something we haven't really mentioned that much, and we should from a Chester point of view if we're talking about injuries, is that they're missing 2 of their most experienced players tonight, in Shaw and George, their captain and their vice-captain.
Great point there, Adam. Certainly a smaller squad for John McCarthy. Purcell as well, that little bit of pace in those wide areas that you do miss, but Shaw's been a massive miss for them tonight in that midfield area, but they've certainly stepped up to the plate. Just with that desire, that one chance you always need, especially from a set plate.
Here's Vaughan. Likes to go on here. Vaughan. He's got Hughes in support. Necky. Limp clear by Joyce. Headed by Alabi. You can see what he was trying to do. Notice Durrell, but it's Ihekwe who has it for Tranmere. A little over 10 minutes of normal time remaining at the Diva Stadium. And Chester, at the moment, are heading for their first victory in this local derby since 1990. Sutton. Vaughan. Just about kept in initially by Johnny Hunt. Norwood just slips at the vital moment.
He did really well there, Johnny Hunt. What he's done now, stop crosses coming into the box when Vaughan's getting good areas in that final third.
It's Chester's 4th season back in the National League since their reformation. Almost went straight back down in 2014, finished in the relegation zone, but stayed up due to a points deduction that relegated Aldershot. Really looking to build something here. As it's sent in dangerously towards Norwood! Equaliser! The substitute gets Tranmere on terms, taking up that position at the back post. And it's 2-2 here now at the Diva Stadium.
Well, it's a quality ball in. And even before it's crossed in, you see Norwood, he's in acres of space already. He attacks that quality ball in there. Great header. When you sometimes have a little bit too much time to think about it, they're the ones you miss. He's come on, he's made a point to his manager, and he's got a vital goal for his side. Quality header from James Norwood. Brilliant ball in from Ridehouse. Heads it down, that's all you can do, hit the target. And what a last 10 minutes we got now, Adam.
And he keeps up his record of scoring against Chester in every one of his Tranmere appearances. 3-3 now, that is, for James Norwood. It's his 11th league goal of the season. The smoke bomb thrown onto the pitch from within the Tranmere supporters. But what a vital goal that could turn out to be for James Norwood. Particularly, Adam, if Tranmere can now go and build on it, and they've got, what, possibly 10 minutes, maybe more, to go on and win this if you include added time.
This is the luxury that Mickey Mellon has got with the squad that he's got now. The forward line with Stockton and Magnan that didn't quite do it for them in that first half, then all of a sudden you can bring Norwood and Cook off the bench. That's such a luxury to have. And they've done that for him.
Boy, Heckway there, bringing down O'Brien. He's already on a yellow card, remember, Heckway. No free kick given. But straight away, Chester was saying to the referee that they felt that was a foul and potentially a yellow card.
Be careful. He had that challenge on Alabi just at the start of that second half. So I won't be surprised to see Craig Marn coming on for Chester. They just need a little bit more in that midfield going forward.
Joyce, 3 inside the penalty area. Joyce with the cross. Since scoring the goal, the equaliser, if anything, Tranmere seems to have just dropped off a little bit here in intensity. Lloyd, it's a heavy pitch with all the rain that it's had. It's still a good surface, but I just wonder whether that could take a little bit out of the players in the closing stages. Free kick goes Tranmere's way. The same scoreline at the moment that it was in the reverse fixture, of course.
Just see Cook coming short for the ball. You can see Norwood spinning in behind. The movement from the front two, just offering something different than what Magnan and Stockton offered to Tranmere in that first half. Yes, one of those two players got a point to prove to their manager.
Meckie, and Meckie looks to drive it towards goal. It was blocked by Sam Hughes. Harris was quickly to it, and now Jeff Hughes for Tranmere. McNulty, Richie Sutton, it's in towards Cook. Joyce clears on the edge of the area. Foul on Whitehouse, tripped by O'Brien.
It's vitally important for Tranmere now. Even in the heat of the moment, 6 minutes to go before the end. Got to take a touch on the ball. You need that little bit of quality as well. And certainly the ascendancy is with them.
Chester making their third and final change here. It's Durrell who's coming off, and Craig Marn who's coming on. He's the nephew of the former Tranmere player, Alan Marn. Craig Marn in his 4th season now with Chester, the longest-serving current player. Says this is the best squad that he's been a part of. It's been a frustrating time for him of late. He's had his injury troubles, but brought on here by John McCarthy for the closing stages. A bit of Nelson experience, maybe. The player who went down, there were 1 or 2 appeals. Norwood was one of those asking the question of the referee there. Here's another look at it.
Well, Simon Astles at that far area. Tug on in there. He runs into Norwood more than a foul on Astles. So no surprise Craig Martin coming on, Adam. You need that experience at this type of the game. John McCarthy's got a really young squad. He's a player I admire, a player I respect a lot in this league especially. So unfortunately for injuries, it's just really been a stop-start season for him.
Started out the campaign brilliantly, I recall. Motoring along nicely until he got those injury problems as Alabi is flagged offside here.
This is what Tranmere don't want in these last 5 minutes. One-on-one race with Steve McNulty and Alabi. It's the right decision there from the linesman.
Ihekwe. First time layoff by Norwood. What a massive lift it would be for Tranmere's title challenge if they could go on and win this now. And it's Vaughan with a chance to cross into a busy penalty area. Clearance by Astles. McNulty. Sutton.
So it's important now Tranmere don't force it into the box, Adam. Get control of the ball, yes. You know you're going to get another chance, the way that Chester is just dropping off deeper and deeper. You have to be brave on the ball. Decision-making now in that final third is vitally important for Mickey Mellon's side.
Harris. Vaughan. Gets it back again here. That's really well won back though by Dawson, who's acquitted himself well since coming on. Foul here by Jeff Hughes on Mark.
He's done brilliant in there, Dawson. Is that reason why he came on? Those areas there, those little give and goes in that midfield. Certainly an obstruction there from Jeff Hughes.
Chester without a game after today until a visit from Eastleigh on the 18th of March. Have been due to play next weekend, but Lincoln next weekend, but of course they're a bit busy now at the Emirates. Danny Cowley's side, Tranmere back in action again as soon as Tuesday away to Barrow in the league. Also have an FA Trophy semi-final coming up as well. Tranmere still demanding more from his players, John McCarthy, and they might have been in the lead twice and twice given that lead away, but against a top side in this league like Tranmere, you'd think he'd be reasonably happy.
He'd be absolutely delighted with his side's performance so far. They were really under a lot of pressure in that second half, Adam, and they got themselves that goal to get them that little bit of breathing space again. It's always going to be difficult against the top sides.
Dawson sent it forward to Alabi, but McNulty had a head start on it. Davis sends it up towards Cook, who won his header, and it bounces nicely here for Cook! What a finish! Both from Cook and from Tranmere! That's what title winners do! They've really showed their mettle here tonight, Tranmere Rovers. Supporters on the pitch. Wild scenes at the Diva Stadium. But for the first time tonight, Tranmere Rovers lead as we go into the final minute of normal time.
Well, what a brilliant finish this is from Andy Cook. I think it's the bounce that really troubles Blaine Hudson. When it bounces on the outside of the box, it's Cook the one that reacts to it. You just see it come there now. It just doesn't really bounce properly. Mekki does enough. But that is a quality finish from the front man. This angle will certainly show you. He's only just won the flick on, and then he reacts to it, and you need that composed finish on the edge of the box. He does that brilliantly, he sets himself, and he's certainly answered back the critics so far tonight. Brilliant finish, it's a brilliant end of the good game.
His 18th league goal of another very productive season for Andy Cook. And that's 4 goals in 6 appearances now against Chester. He loves playing against them. Left out tonight by Mickey Mellon from the starting lineup. 7 minutes of added time there's going to be here. Not quite sure where all that's come from, but Chester will be glad to hear it as they look to come from behind. Now, what a good ball that is by to Hunt. And suddenly Tranmere on the back foot.
got to dig in deep now, Adam. You get that hard work to get yourself into that lead. They conceded last time from a corner. Stay tight to your men. Don't let them get that free header.
Have to get themselves well organised, well set. They do have the best defensive record in the league, Tranmere. The goalkeeper has come a long way for it. And the whistle has gone. It's going to be a free kick here for Tranmere.
Well, that was a great punch there from Scott Davis. That's what you need from your goalkeeper. You come down to a little bit of pressure. That last corner that came in, you concede the goal.
What a massive 3 points this could be, Adam. I said just then, it's what title winners do. In games where maybe they've not been at their best, they find a way to get a big 3 points, and this is huge for Tranmere.
It's absolutely massive. All well and being Lincoln now having that game in hand, and they now need to win that to really pull themselves away. So credit to Mickey Mellon tonight. It's not been the best performance in that first half, but he's certainly got the characters in his side now to really push Lincoln all the way. And that's what you need tonight, Adam. You get asked questions time and time again during the league, and they've certainly answered them so far.
Alabi, still time yet for Chester. Alabi. Hunt. Chester asking questions. Still 5 minutes to go here. Lloyd's ball in. McNulty got his head to it. Didn't quite run for Dawson, it did for O'Brien. Joyce waits in the middle. There's 5 of them in there, it's a great ball! And Tranmere managed to scramble it clear, but it wasn't exactly convincing as Hudson goes down. Free kick, Chester, and there'll be a few in their ranks who'll fancy this.
And the man that really wanted to take this, Elliot Darrell, is now not on. Just a little clip there from Mickey on Hudson.
Confirmation there of that yellow card and all the madness and mayhem for Astles, who had put Chester back in front, hadn't he? At 2-1, but Norwood got the equaliser and Cook got the third. The 2 subs coming on to devastating effect. But this isn't over yet.
It's a difficult angle, a free kick to maybe clip it in.
Here comes Dawson. And it was some way off target in the end from the new signing.
Well, I've been surprised if he'd have tried to clip this into the box for someone to go and head up. So credit to him, pressure on him there to take the responsibility to try and take the free kick and get that goal.
Well, those Tranmere supporters are enjoying their night. What a contrast in emotions for John McCarthy and Chester.
That'll certainly hurt him now. Good application from his players tonight. You can't fault their work rate, you can't fault the quality that they've shown on the ball in certain periods, but just sometimes you've just got to give credit to Tranmere, the depth of squad that Mickey Mellon has got. And I think on that second half performance, Adam, I think they deserve this so far.
Still having to battle out there, though. Nice layoff by Alabi. And now it's Mark. He looks to go on the outside, lovely wing play. Needs to be a good ball in there, though. He's still going with it, Mark. It's an incredible run. Just ran out of steam a little bit, but he has won the corner.
Well, he just kept going and going and going. Maybe looking to try and get that cross in earlier.
Well, just out of your picture, Lynch, the goalkeeper, had asked to come forward, but was told no. Mark, the delivery, which in the circumstances was really disappointing.
No idea what he's thinking there. You score from a corner from that side earlier on.
Dawson's ball in there. Oh, and it was Astles forward again, the man who put them 2-1 up. This time he was off target.
Certainly half a chance there for Ryan Astles. As he ball in there from Dawson. He just had half a yard there. Trying to hit the target. It was a very, very difficult opportunity, though, for the centre half.
Still 2 minutes to go. What a game this has been. Wonderful entertainment from the National League. There's still a long way to go in this season, a long way to go in this title race. Tranmere, it would seem, about to just crank up the pressure a little bit on Lincoln. Norwood, who heads for the corner flag. Norwood feels that should have gone his way, but on a booking, does have to be a little careful. I guess people will say, did the manager Mickey Mellon here get away with one, Adam having left Norwood and Cook out, or is it managerial brilliance that he's brought them on in the second half and both have scored?
Yeah, I think he'd be saying that. Shows the depth and quality that they've got, that they can bring on Norwood and Cook to get themselves those 2 goals and possibly the 3 points.
That's turned into a really good ball from Hudson. Marn, last minute of the game, and Marn goes on.
Disappointing there from Craig Marn. The hard bit first to set himself up for that shot. So he went for the wrong side of the goal there, Adam.
He's shown some lovely skills, hasn't he, since coming on, Craig Marn. Mickey Mellon's side are almost there. Just seconds to go now before Tranmere can celebrate. Maybe the last chance of an attack for Chester if they can get it forward quickly. Got a free kick. Surely it's got to go long here. Everybody bar the goalkeeper going forward here. Again, Lynch has asked John McCarthy, and again the answer was no in terms of the keeper going forward. In it goes into a busy penalty area. Ihekwe got a touch to it. Joyce just wouldn't come down for him, would it? Tranmere keep on winning. 4 in a row now for Mickey Mellon's side. No doubting their momentum, nor the strength of their title challenge. Now just 2 points behind the leaders, Lincoln. What a turnaround it was in this game. Andy Cook left out of the side to begin with tonight, on as a second half sub, and he got the winner, his 18th league goal of the season. After James Norwood had got the equaliser at 2-2. Again, left out of the side tonight, on as a second half sub. The Derby defeat will be hard to take for Chester. John McCarthy and Chester falling short today, but no doubting their potential. Full time here, Chester 2, Tranmere Rovers 3. Let's hear from the match winner, Andy Cook, who's with Andy May.
A brilliant end. How much do you think you deserve those 3 points, Andy?
Yeah, I think obviously we kept attacking, didn't we? And obviously just kept going, obviously it come. Oh, massive win.
Talk me through your goal, you hit it well.
Yeah, flicked it on to the next. Obviously fell backwards, I just hit it and it's obviously gone in. Nice to get that goal, especially with the stick I was getting from over there. So.
How much did you want to prove Mickey wrong? Because you looked annoyed to be on the bench, if you don't mind me saying so.
You know, you got to go with what the gaffer thinks, and obviously I've come on, scored the winner. Hopefully I'm in line for a start on Tuesday. I know, I'm just buzzing, absolutely over the moon.
And you love scoring, don't you, against this side? I think it's 4 in 6 against Chester.
I didn't realise, I honestly didn't know. But I like scoring against anyone, but the main thing is that we get the 3 points.
And it's another 3 points, and also, you know, unbeaten in 8 matches in all competitions. Is it watch out Lincoln City? Yeah,
definitely, yeah. 100%. That's what we want to do. We want to get promoted, but catch Lincoln, happy days.
Well done, mate.
Cheers.
Mickey Mellon celebrating with the travelling fans there. We've got lots to talk about, particularly in that second half, but we've also got lots to look forward to this weekend. Saturday afternoon on BT Sport means BT Sport Score, which if you've never seen it before, looks a bit like this.